Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Boy, I just can't stay away from this camera. I gotta always keep talking to you. And because I love you, because I care about you, because I'm concerned about you. And I want the best for you. And I know what you're dealing with every day. You're hearing voices everywhere. And there was a time when maybe you just got a few voices. But now with the the internet, I mean, you're getting voices everywhere. And you know the truth of the matter is people are easily influenced. All you need to do is turn the channel and hear somebody say a couple of things that you like, and all of a sudden you're tuned into them. And you're believing everything they say. And you won't even listen to anybody else. But if you just flip a channel every now and then, you hear somebody else say something, next thing you're doing, you're listening to them. And what you find out is the statements that they're making in total opposition to the statements you were so affected by and loved just the other day. I know this, I'm just like you. I remember when I first started doing all kind of research trying to find out what was really going on in the world, and I wanted to listen to a lot of voices. You could hear people like Lou Dobbs speak, and what Lou Dobbs seemed to have been addressing was so important, and you just stayed there and focused on it. Only to find out a little bit later on, after changing a few more channels, that you had to question what Lou Dobbs was saying. And Alex Jones, I mean, when you first start listening to Alex Jones, depending upon where your head is at, you think this boy is gospel. And then you just hang around for a little bit. Then you find out that you might be listening to some strange stuff. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to say to you is that we have to stop listening to other voices. We must create our own voice. And having created our own voice, we must walk according to our voice. The thing that I would suggest to you is, however, is that you would try to establish the best voice you have ever heard. Don't try to make your voice in line with somebody else's voice. Make your voice unique. Make your voice precious and diamond. I mean, just have the most wonderful voice, the voice that you could hold up before the sun and say, look at my voice. Or hold it up before the moon and say, look at my voice. And hold it up before anybody in the world and say, look at my voice. Expecting that your voice is probably the best voice out there, but hoping that perhaps some other voices are better than your voice. And perhaps will give you a chance to reconsider your own voice and not go that way or this way, but follow your own voice. Now, I say this, ladies and gentlemen, because life is so precious to me. I listen to people talk about Israel and what Israel means. I was, for the past couple of nights, I keep waking up and I've had dreams about war and maybe the draft being called back in. And I'm thinking how I can get, what do you call it? I can't think of the word I want to use right now, but I want to get out of this consideration. And I keep thinking, hey, they don't want me. I'm 47 years old. They need young guys who can run and this training and stuff. 47 years old. I can't be running out of training with these young bucks. Yeah, look, trying to get a waiver. Yeah, that's the word I want. I'm looking for a waiver. 47 years old. In reality, ladies and gentlemen, I'm almost 70 years old. So I don't know where this 47 come from. But I guess I must be thinking for people who are 47 years old. And I'm just thinking about the kinds of things that goes on in the world. I keep thinking about the cameras and stuff that they put on the streets to watch our every move. I hear the city of Minneapolis is going to try to get so many additional cameras. Some to replace those that kind of worn, and additional ones so they can just watch you. So when you do something wrong, they're anticipating you doing something wrong because apparently they're setting you up to do something wrong. And they want the cameras to be right there. They got this TV program that I watch sometime called A Person of Interest. And when it comes on, you know, you got this camera like you can just, every face, you can just pick out every face. And it seemed to me, this is what they want to do with the people. Just be able to watch everybody's face, know everything that everybody is doing, listening to their telephone, listening to their internet recording, anything that they post. They know you whole in and out, like you're a walking book, that they can flip any page and get any information on it. Sounds ludicrous to me, but it seems as if this is what is happening. I'm listening to the information about terrorism and what's causing it and how to fight it and who's fighting whom and what is being done about it. I'm thinking about also the policies against immigration or for immigration. And it just tears me apart. And so I think about my own voice, which is a most wonderful voice. In fact, it's so wonderful I think I share that voice with you. You know, I've asked the people of the state of Minnesota to consider me as being, you know, the replacement senator of Al Franken. And let me go in there and take this voice of mine. But I want you to know that I'm not only asking people to consider me for that position, I'm asking them to consider me at the same time for 2020 as the President of the magnificent United States of America. I call it magnificent because as President, it will become magnificent by the power of you, the people. I'm counting on it, no doubt. But I don't want you to be wondering about my voice. I don't want you to wonder what I'm thinking about. I want to make sure that I tell you what I'm thinking about, whether you believe me or not. I'm not concerned about whether you love me or hate me. I know that's your choice. But what I want to be able to do is look in the mirror and smile, because I know the voice that I've given is the voice that I understand to be in line with what I call the Lord God Almighty. Let me say that again. I want to be able to look in the mirror and smile back at myself, because I know that the voice that I give echo to is of the Lord God Almighty, whether you believe in God or not. And so when I speak for Minnesota, I'm speaking for the nation. Now, this is the voice. It is my intention to use my voice to make sure that everybody within the United States who qualifies for a job, and that basically means who wants a job, and have skills, that every last one of them have access to the job of their choosing. That is me. That's my voice. I want to make sure that every citizen in the United States of America that wants a job have a job of their own choosing. Aside from that, I want to make sure that they have unlimited, unrestriction to education of their own choosing, education that would enable them to be super at whatever gift they have and whatever contribution they want to make to this wonderful nation, the United States of America. I want to make sure that they are protected from sicknesses and diseases and the such by having unlimited, unrestricted health care for every citizen. And I want every channel exercise to make sure that whatever sickness, whatever diseases that might occur to the people of the United States of America, attention is given to find a cure. Not to make money, but to find a cure, to protect the American citizens. That's my voice. I want to make sure that every citizen in America have food and clothing and shelter as they need it, require it, and desire it. Every last citizen. I want to make sure that the streets of the United States of America are polished. I want them all fixed, everywhere. I want them fixed. I want them looking new. I want our forests looking clean like they're supposed to be. And those things that's supposed to have brush and stuff so the deers and rabbits can have some place to be. I want to make sure that they have access to that. I even want our animals to be glad that they are living in America. I want our street signs to represent beauty of our own hearts. I want our planes and our trains and our ships and everything the best that they can possibly be. I don't want something built today that's going to fall down tomorrow. I want if it's built today, it can last 100 years because you, the people who have come over this great design, who have this great talent, have given it the best that it could ever have. And you don't have to keep working on these things. There are other things that needs to be done. And when you've done this, I'm sure that your aspirations and desires and dreams will change. And if they change and engage, give you the opportunity to want to engage, then that opportunity is there for you to engage and make this a most magnificent nation. A most magnificent nation that everybody can look down and say, whoa! You know how you go to Sam's Club? I say Sam's Club because they have a whole bunch of stuff going on up in there. And you go by the jewelry case and you can see the diamonds and other precious stones or whatever. You look at them, you know you can't afford them. But you look at them and you just say, ooh, Ooh, I sure wish I could get that for my wife. Or I sure wish I could get that for my girlfriend. Or I can get that for my husband. Or I can get that for my boyfriend. You know how it just makes you feel? How you say you wish you could win the lottery so you can just purchase that gift. Well, this is the way I want you to feel about your nation. That you, when you walk up out of the house in the morning times or whenever you walk out, you can just hold your chest up and smile. I mean, a big, wonderful smile, and your eyes just gleam at this America that you played a part in, that this America which you are part owner of. Oh, my friends, that's what I'm looking for. And that's part of my voice, and it is done without the usage of money, without the usage of debt and credit. And it is able to be done without lying and cheating and stealing, and that peace and prosperity and joy reign all over America. Yes, your dreams come true. Now that's the voice that I have for America. But many of you might be asking, well, what's your voice about the other parts of the world? Well, let's see. I mentioned a couple down here. I mentioned Israel. I mentioned Palestine, Iran and North Korea, Iraq, Libya, Mexico and Germany and Russia and France and Vietnam and the Philippines and all of those others that I can't mention because it takes up too much time. I want to make sure that every time every citizen in every one of these countries or cities or states wake up, they can feel as excited about their nation, about their homeland, as we feel about ours. Every institution is polished because this is the way the Lord God that I speak of, Almighty, wants it to be. I want to make sure that every nation, the people of every city and every town in the 7 continents where people exist, wake up every morning feeling as wonderful about their situation as I feel about the United States of America. And that's the voice that I carry. That's the voice I present to you right now as I ask you to consider me for United States Senator, and as I ask you to consider me for the President of the United States. That's the voice I champion. I don't care what you represent. You can represent any doggone thing you want to represent. But this voice, my friend, is the voice that I offer to you. I offer this voice to you, and I know that there are many of you right now who can't stand it, but deep in the bottom of your heart, you want the same thing. And I want you to know if you think you want the same thing, there's nowhere in the world you're going to get it. Nowhere soon, unless you can champion this voice. You can align yourself with this voice, and these things will happen. And why am I so sure about that? Because I was taught, I don't know what you were taught. I was taught that there was a God, a loving God. A God that had the power to create the earth and all of the wonderful resources that the earth has to be utilized by you and I, the people of this world. I was taught that God wanted us to listen to the voice of God, not the voice of any devil, not the voice of any rich person, not the voice of any ethnic person superior, but to listen to the voice of God. And that voice says, I love you, and I prepared everything for you so your dreams can come true. And that voice that said, as you recognize me, as you recognize what I've done for you, I want you to do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. In other words, I want you to do unto others as if the God that you love is in you. And everybody, and every way you affect everybody, is as if God is being affected to them from you. It's like God loving God. Now, this is the voice I give. You can love me, you can hate me, you can do anything you want to do. But this is my voice, whether I'm in office or out of office. And I offer it to you. And I'm Eddie Marcus, spokesman for it. Thank you so very much for giving me this your time, and bye-bye.